Right. So to go ahead and open up a trade in ByBit, it's pretty simple, and you should get accustomed to doing this and get accustomed to playing with the leverage and even open up like some dummy trades on here to see how they affect things so you can get the experience of doing that. So let me show you how to open a trade. So in order to do this, okay, in order to open up a trade, what you'll do is you'll come on over to the left-hand side here where you can see this says Luna USDT. I'm going to click on this, okay, and I can select whatever currency pair I want. And I can go to USDT perpetual. This is what we trade, all right? And I can go find any of these different currency pairs. So let's say I'm going to open up a sand trade, okay, sand USDT. I can click on this, or incidentally, I can type up here sand USDT and it will show me the currency pair. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and now it's loaded to the chart, and anything I do now will be on this particular currency pair. Anything that I do, if I open it up, close it, whatever I do, will be on this particular currency pair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a long trade. I'm going to open up a trade going up, okay? Longs are trades going up, shorts are trades going down. So if I come over to do that, to open up the trade, I have to go ahead and go to this right-hand menu item right here, where I can see this right-hand menu item. And this is all my functionality of opening up trades, closing trades, changing leverage, doing those things. So let's say I want to open up an isolated trade. Well, at the top, I'm going to start here and click on isolated. And I can actually, any of these three buttons you click on will do the same thing. They'll open up a panel with which you can use to open up trades and incidentally change the leverage on those trades, okay? So I'm gonna go click on here, any of these three, boom, open it up, and I can see right now that my long, that's on isolated mode, my long is set at 1, my short is set at 10, so I can go move this to 50 if I want to. That's 50x leverage. I can put it on 10x leverage, I can put it on 2x leverage, I can move the slider, or I can type in here, okay? So I'm going to go, let's say 20x leverage, okay, which is pretty high, but I'm only going to open it for a couple dollars so we can see. Now, if I wanted to do cross leverage, I could click this crossbar right here and do the exact same thing. Go cross, put in 20, and then boom, I can open up my trade. So let's go isolated real quick. We're going to go 20x leverage, okay? And if I was taking a short, I would adjust this if I was taking a trade going down. I'm going to hit confirm to lock in those settings, okay? And then the next thing I'm going to do is decide what I want to do here. Am I going to open a trade or close a trade? What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to open a trade. And from here, I can choose limit order or market order or conditional, okay? I'm going to cover limited market order. A limit order is saying, hey, open up this trade when the price reaches a certain amount. So if I wanted to go ahead and say open up a trade when the price of sand hits $1, and I could put the quantity 100 sand coins, I could then go ahead and open up that long. And if it hit that price point of $1, right, $1, it would go ahead and open up that trade. I'm not going to do that for now. This has its time and place, especially when you want to repurchase positions. Limit orders are great to have in the system to repurchase positions if you want to buy into a position so you can money manage out of it. Very helpful. But for now, we're going to go market, okay? Market means it's just going to open it up at whatever the price is right now. And the difference between these two things from a functionality standpoint is, one, you're getting at the price you want and then you're buying or selling, incidentally, if you're doing a short. And market is opening up now, but also when you're putting in limit orders, you're a market maker. You're making the market, which means you're providing liquidity to the market. You're providing money into the system. And when you do that, you're getting paid fees. So instead of paying fees, you're being paid those fees with limit orders. With market orders, when you go ahead and open up a trade, you're a market taker. You're taking out of the market. You're just getting right in. And so what that ends up doing is you're paying fees. So those are the two big differences between those two. And that's how I look at this. I'm going to do a market order, though, and just open up in a market order. And the question now becomes, what quantity? Well, when I type in a quantity here, I'm typing in how many sand there are, right? And there are, I'm saying 100 sand coins. And so I would have to do the math on this to see, okay, 100 sand coins, it's at $2.80. So, what would this end up costing me? Well, I can see it down here where it says open long. It'll cost me $14.57 to open this long at 20x leverage, okay? But I don't think in sand anyway. I would rather put a dollar value here. So what you can do is you can click where it says order by quantity. You can click on this and you can change this to be order by cost. Okay. So I'm going to click that. And now this is going to be a dollar amount. So if I hit confirm, now I can type in a dollar amount here. And it's better. I can think more in dollar terms and say, okay, I want to put in a trade for $10 on this. Okay, at 20x leverage, for example. All right, and I can now go ahead and I can open up a long. Incidentally, too, I could just toggle these percentages and it will open up that percent of my account, okay, of what I have available. So I'm going to do $10, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and click on open a long. Now, this is at 20x leverage, all right, so I'm going to click on open a long, boom, boom, there we go. And it's going to be like, hey, what do you want to do here? Are you good to open this? And it tells me how much my order is going to be. So it's not opening it for $10, it's opening it for $9.91. What that means is like the act of opening this is costing me 9 cents. Okay. So you got to kind of factor that into when you're looking at ROI. So I'm going to go confirm, boom. And I'll see if I scroll down here that the sand trade it's right here, right? It's in it for $9.80 is the position margin, even though I told it give me 10. Okay. It's at 20x leverage. Here's my entry price. Here's the market price, the price that the coin is at right, that the price of the coin is now. And here's my liquidation price. If it goes to this price right here, this liquidation price, this is when I lose money on my isolated position. Okay. Now, while I'm in this trade, I can manipulate this. Okay. I can change the leverage of this trade mid-trade. Okay. I can change it from isolated to cross. I can change the leverage amount, and that will affect how much position margin is in this trade. So another thing too on here, if I'm using isolated mode, okay, there's another cool thing that you can do in here, and that is you can turn on what's called auto margin. All right, so if I click on this, what's auto margin? This is auto margin replenishment. What this means is if this trade, because it's isolated, gets to my liquidation price and it's going to liquidate, what will happen is ByBit will automatically repurchase me a position. Or no, I'm sorry, I take that back. Not repurchase a position. ByBit will automatically add more margin to the position. It'll double up on that position with margin. Let me stop right there, okay? Because this is a concept that a lot of people don't understand. So right now, going back to what we talked about in the last video, this $9.80 is what is supporting this trade. If I put this on cross leverage, then my entire balance would be supporting this trade, which means my liquidation price would be very, very high, right? But what I can do as a hybrid, as a medium, happy medium to that, is I can actually add in position margin and say, hey, I'm going to give this more fuel to watch this trade, to add to this trade without actually buying into the position, without actually putting more money and doubling how much money is in the trade. Crazy concept, I know, but that's the concept. So I can add to this position margin, and this is a hybrid between cross leverage and isolated leverage. So I can do this automatically through auto margin replenishment, meaning if it goes to liquidation price, they're going to go ahead and double up and what I have in this trade into position margin. Okay. Or I can just add some myself. So I'm going to add some myself to simulate this so you can see what this looks like. Because if this trade goes down to this liquidation price, they're going to double up in it. Okay. They're going to add this value into that trade. Okay. So let me do that real quick. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like when they do it. What they're going to do is behind the scenes, they're going to go to this little pencil icon right here on position margin, and they're going to increase that margin, okay, by $9.80. And what you're going to see happening is you're going to see that my liquidation price is going to move, okay, from $2.70 to $2.59 if that happens. Incidentally, okay, this is like a calculator built in. I could say, what if I added in $100 of margin? Well, my liquidation price would go to $1.26. What if I added in $500 of margin into this trade? Well, my liquidation price would go down here, right? Actually, I hit the max. Looks like the max is 184. So if I added $184, right? And I know that because I just went ahead and put in 500. I clicked away, and then ByBit adjusted it to 184. So they're saying, look, you can put in $184 in margin into this trade. And if I did that, it would lower my liquidation price to almost 3 cents. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add this into this trade. Now, I'm not changing how much money I have in the trade. Again, this is a hybrid between cross leverage and isolated leverage. Okay, this is a hybrid. So I'm going to go ahead and hit confirm. And what that does is it just added margin into that trade. Okay, and my liquidation price adjusted. And now I'm still only have $10 in the trade, but I've added money to support that trade. That is the concept I want to get across to you with this, okay? Is that we're adding in money to support that trade, okay? But I'm still at 20x leverage, which is crazy stuff that you can do this. On top of that, if I want to at any time, I can come in here and any margin that's not being used to support the trade, right? If it goes negative, then it'll start using that margin to support the trade. But if it's not, I can actually go and remove that margin back out of that trade. So I can click on this decrease function and I can see, like I'm increasing it here, I'm decreasing it here. I can see that I can remove this $184. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And what you're going to see is it's going to move back into my available balance. I'm going to confirm, and my liquidation price will go back to where it was. Confirm. So it just put that money back here, okay? And it put my margin, my how much I have in the trade back to $9.80, and it moved my liquidation price, okay? So these are functionalities that you might want to play around with. Go open up a trade for like $5 on any coin and play around with it, right? Knowing that if you lose that $5, you don't care, right? But play around with it. So you can just kind of do this stuff. Click around on the trade, see what's going to happen with it. Make sure whenever you're doing this, though, that you're doing it on the actual trade itself. Because if you think you're doing something here, but you're actually, if I click this, it's loading Luna. I've seen a lot of people think they're manipulating this, but they're actually manipulating that, and they get themselves in trouble. So make sure you click on this, the trade you want to play with. It'll load it to the chart. You'll see it up here, and you can play around with it, okay? If it's only $10, it's a $10 risk. So I'm not afraid of losing $10 to learn the platform more, okay? So let's do some more stuff with it. Let's play some more games with this. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and change the leverage from 20x to 10x. Let's see what happens. If I go in here and I click on up here, if I'm loaded onto this trade, okay, and then I click this, I can go ahead and I can change the leverage on this simply by bringing this down to, let's say, 5x leverage, okay, and hitting confirm. And if I do, it's going to change the leverage in this trade, which will raise how much money I have in this trade, obviously, right? Because now we're borrowing less to maintain it, all right? So that's what it's going to do. And it will affect my liquidation price, the price with which I lose money. So I'm going to go hit confirm, boom. And you see now I have $38 in here, and my liquidation price is $2.31. Okay. Now, what if I brought this all the way down? I'm going to do that again. What if I brought it to a 1? And I hit confirm. Now I have $200 in here, and my liquidation price is 2 cents. So this is how you manipulate the trade. I could send this to cross leverage instantly if I wanted to. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go click on isolated here again. I'm just going to click cross. I'm going to bring it to 1x leverage, hit confirm. And boom, now I'm at cross leverage. My liquidation price is like impossible to hit. And I could incidentally stay in this trade for like forever and a day. Now, all these different changes, all these things that I'm doing, they're costing me money. right? They're costing me fees. And you can see that right here. These are the fees it's costing me. So as I'm playing around with this, it's costing me money to do so. A couple pennies every time I play with it, okay? So this is kind of how we play with leverage, right? And this is what Carbon's doing, right? When we get into Carbon here, okay, and we go to these configurations and we open up a trade at 10x leverage, right? And then we go ahead and money manage it. Let's go to the advanced money management. This is all we're doing is we're opening up these positions, we're changing the leverage to 5x, we're repurchasing in, we're going to stage 3, we're changing leverage again, and so on and so forth, all the way down. This is what we're up to, right? This is what we're doing, okay? Is nothing more than what I'm showing you right now, which is buying on in or adding, lowering the leverage to lower the liquidation price. That's all we're really doing. We're just doing it with a bot at the right moment, okay? So if you ever were in a trade and you wanted to change the leverage on that trade to have more money in it or have less money in it or adjust your liquidation price, this is exactly how you do it, right? So I'm in this sand trade. I'm up 5 cents, okay? My liquidation price is nothing. What if I wanted to change this again to, let's say, isolated 50x? I could go isolated and bring this up to 50x and hit confirm. Boom. All right. Now I got $3.99 in this trade. Okay. Crazy, right? Because I'm borrowing so much more. That's why I only have $3.99 in this trade. But look at my liquidation price. The higher the leverage you go, the closer that liquidation price can be on isolated trades. Okay. Now I could liquidate this thing out because the market price here, look how much it has to move. My market price is $2.85. If it goes to $2.82.4, I will liquidate out this trade. So all it has to do, okay, is drop a little bit. Look, this is on the daily chart. Let's go to the 5-minute. Okay. Boom, put this back on auto. So this just has to come down to what? $2.82. If it comes down to here, I liquidate out this trade, which it can easily do, right? It can come down to this mark, $2.82. If it comes down 1%, guys, I liquidate out this trade. So I don't really want to use 50x leverage in most cases unless I am like 100% sure that this thing is is going to move because it's going to move in my direction. I'm not interested in doing that. But there is a place for it. There's a huge place for 50x leverage, and we'll talk more about that. In fact, in the elite side, we're going to be doing a lot of 50x leverage trades because there's people out there, believe it or not, who get in 50x leverage trades or 20x leverage trades, and they crush it. Phenoms, right? Savants at trading can do this. I'm not a savant at trading, so I don't really get into 50x leverage trades. But I've got friends who do, and they're next level in some of the things that they do. So it is a possibility. It is a thing. It just takes years and years of understanding charts, positioning, timing, the markets, to be able to do those things. Okay, things that we'll be talking about in elite, right? So yeah, there we go. So this is how we manipulate stuff. Okay, so if you're ever like, how do I change leverage on this? This is exactly how you do it, right? This is how you change that leverage on these trades. So yeah. This is it. If you're ever like, hey, how do I, adjust the leverage? This is the video for you. I would go open up a trade and play with it, mess around with it. Open up a $5 trade, $2 trade, a $1 trade, and adjust the leverage on it and see how it goes for you, right? Just to get a good feeling for it. Because if I lose this, I don't really care. Right now it's $3, right? I would lose $3 on this. So I'm not worried about that. So this is where you want to play, okay? Another thing is if I wanted to, let's say, close out this trade, okay? If I wanted to close this out, what I could do is I could come over here and do close by limit or close by market. Limit is just, if I click on this, it's telling me, hey, you're going to close out, a percentage when it hits a price, certain price. Okay, I'll close out, let's say 100% of this trade when it hits this price. I can put that in the system and tell it to do that. Okay, that's a limit order. I could click this market, and if I do, it'll close out the trade right now. Okay. Also, I could close out 50% of this trade right now. What if I was in a position where I'm losing a trade and I want to take a small loss on it, or a loss of a portion of that position? How can I do that? Well, it's simple, right? And actually, we'll talk about that in the next video. It'll be a short one, but I'm going to show you how to go ahead and close out trades at a smaller loss, because I think this one's getting long. Thanks for watching the whole thing. We covered a lot of stuff, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video where we'll talk about closing out portions of positions and even repurchasing in and stuff like that. Okay? All right, see you in the next one.